Hello, hello. Once in a while, I wake up in the morning, mostly on the weekend, open my laptop, realize that my hair is messy, and I contemplate out loud, hoping that somebody would listen. Okay, so the topic of contemplation for today is gratitude. Okay, off the bat, let me start by saying I'm not the type that is very good at gratitude. Every January 1st, I try to meditate, and after doing it for a bit of time, all my to-do list comes popping in. I'm more stressed than I was, and I drop meditation for the rest of the year. Gratitude, the organized gratitude is also a task that doesn't work for me. I tried journaling or never caught on. Maybe I need to do it for longer, but it doesn't catch on. I do think I'm very appreciative, but let's drop that for another story. But anyway, I started thinking about gratitude. What is it about gratitude? And I think there are kind of three parts of gratitude that are interesting. The first part is about noticing. So imagine that all of our experience throughout the day is captured in some universe. Naturally, we have a tendency to look at the negative things. What are the things that didn't go well? What are the things I can learn from? What are the things I can improve? That's the natural tendency. But we also tend to not look so much at the positive things. And that, I think, is what the standard gratitude is about. It's about overcoming our negativity bias. Yes, there's a good reason to focus on the negative things. These are the things we should fix, we should improve, and so on. But what about noticing the positive things? That's the first thing. And I think that's an interesting and important part for those of us who are able to do it. But I think the value of gratitude doesn't end there. The second part is connected to the feeling of how do we get to where we are. In the literature on luck, there are kind of two types of luck. There's big luck and little luck. Big luck is somebody winning a lottery or having something bad happen to them. And when those things happen, you can't but say, okay, this was luck. But there's little luck, and little luck is about the fact that lots of things happen to us throughout life. We met this person, they opened that door for us, they proposed this direction, they gave us that feedback. You know, for example, if I look at my books, so many people gave me such interesting ideas throughout the time. I gave a talk, somebody gave me an insightful comment, somebody gave me an interesting story. We similarly make a distinction between face wind and backwind. And the idea is that when we have face wind, things are against us, making life more difficult. We notice them very much. When we have backwind, we say, oh, it's us. So going back to gratitude, I think that the second element to gratitude is about things like journeys, where we got help from all kinds of people. The exercise of gratitude can get us to go back and say, oh, it's not just me, I got help from all of these people. So when I look at my books, as an example, I could say, oh my goodness, here are some people that gave me tremendous advice throughout the years. Sandy Blakeslee said this, Jim Levine said this. I mean, I can say, okay, here's all kind of people who said all kind of things, and I think if we don't exercise gratitude, we're likely to forget about that. But the exercise of gratitude gets us to basically play with our memories, make sure that our memories about the role of other people in our life don't fade. So back to gratitude, I think there's about noticing not just the bad but also the good part of life, but there's also improving our memory and making sure that our memory includes all of those things that helped us. And then we can say, oh my goodness, I really got help from a lot of people along the way, and remembering that help. But then there's the third element, and in my mind the third element is the most important one. My nature is somewhat adventurous. I do a lot of things for the sake of adventure, And many times, today for example is going to be one example like this, I'm going to do something that doesn't make sense, but I think I'll have a good story out of it. Okay, this thing doesn't make sense to do, but it will be interesting and I'll have an interesting story out of it. So I think there's something about not just changing the moment, gratitude part 1, and not just changing our memory of the past, gratitude part 2, but changing our future. And for me, being adventurous meaning I look at life and I say, from here, looking forward, I don't want to consume life passively. I want to direct it into the more interesting ways. I think similarly, people who think about gratitude can also think to themselves, where am I going to get my next piece of gratitude? What will I do that allow me to test generosity, commitment, help, and so on? So in the same way that I test adventurous, I think people test gratitude. And I think many times they're overlapping, right? Many times there are adventures that allow us to realize that people are kind, wonderful, helpful, things we can be grateful for. So anyway, I think there are 3 ways to think about gratitude. The regular one, let's think about the day or the moment. The memory one, let's think about what got us here. And the future one, let's live a life that is a bit more adventurous, a bit more seeking. Something where you say to yourself, I want to be able to tell a really good story about gratitude tonight. So let me do something now that would allow me to do that. Let me help somebody. Let me allow somebody else to help me. Last week I waited in the street corner for a friend who was late. During the 10 minutes, I got to help a young couple move a bed frame, and I got to help a disabled person with a little motorized scooter that got out of battery to push them to where they want. It was great. It made my evening, and both of them contacted me later to say thank you, and it was a great moment of great 2 moments of human connection, thanks to somebody being late. Anyway, to more gratitude, reflection, remembering how much help we get, and mostly to an adventurous life that would allow us to experience and reflect better about life. To a better 2025.